Hello. I hope everyone is doing well today. It's time to breathe. So let's see. Hello. Okay. I hope everyone is doing well today. Whether you're watching me now or during the replay later on, I'm glad that you have taken the time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me and hear what I have to say and what I want to talk about today. So, in case you didn't know, who are you looking at right now? Yes, my name is Yolanda. I am locating cozy, and this is a broad chat. So, thank you for joining. I hope that your week is going good so far. And yeah, here we are. Few things to share, a couple of announcements to make, and then we will get into the topic at hand. And then when you come in, please do make sure that you say hello. Make sure that say good afternoon, good morning, where you at, where you located at right now. Some people are joining me from all over, or reviewing or watching this from all over the world. So that feels good. That's awesome. I'm excited about that. I am here in Spain, um, thoroughly enjoying myself, thoroughly appreciating all these wonderful new experiences that I get to be involved in. So, um, well, one, I'm not showing any pictures, just FYI. If you know me, you'll see the picture soon. But I will say that mi nieta has arrived, and I am tickled. I am officially now the grandmother of dos nietas. Okay, so yeah, I am. She arrived last Wednesday, and it's just been nonstop. So, quite frankly, I'm a little tired, for various reasons. I am very thankful that I get to be here in the same city where my daughter and my granddaughters, I have family here where they are. So I have been in and out of the house and just there and supporting my daughter and my son-in-law in any way that I can. But I'm so very thankful that I get to do that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been cooking. Um, yeah, I've really been enjoying cooking for them. Single woman that I am, I don't cook so much for myself anymore. It's like I'll go out and grab a appetizer and a cocktail and call it a day. Um, and I don't really go out to eat as much as I did when I was in the States. But I just cook simple. I cook really, really simple for me. And things will last me a couple of days. So to be able to really cook for my daughter and my son-in-law to like ease some of that burden for them while they're, dealing with the toddler. I don't want to say dealing, but yeah, they now have two babies, a 3-year-old and a newborn. So yeah, they're experiencing a lot. So I guess my love language is just to show is cooking, is food. So that's what I've been doing, and I've enjoyed it. Yeah, in another life, I was a personal chef, and I have not embraced that in a while. So when I throw down, though, I throw down. Okay, okay. So yeah, that's been great. I'm just all feeling all the love, and just hanging out with my oldest granddaughter, my 3-year-old granddaughter. And it was so funny because she was with me actually all last week. That's why I did not go live last week. I actually just posted some content that I think, yeah, I posted content talking about a video. Yeah, let's try this again. I posted a video from one of the original clips from my Valencia trip that just talked about my pet sitting fiasco in Valencia. It was good content, yeah. So I did not go live last week, but my granddaughter was with me all last week, while mom, my daughter was recovering in the hospital from having the baby. And when I brought her home on Friday, she was happy to be, hanging out with her sister at home. And she was sitting down with her dad, my son in law. And she just said, I don't want to go to Lolly's house no more. I'm Lolly, by the way. And I was like, you know what? I understand that. I get that because as much as I love my grandchild, I was so ready to sit back by myself and just enjoy some some just adult time, some peace. And it's a lot to have a little 3-year old that has uh it just has expresses all the different emotions and says all the different things, and I love her, and it's great and it's fun, and I'm so honored. But also I was like, bye. It's okay. Yeah, we don't have to see each other again for a couple of weeks. You don't have to come over. That's fine. She's coming over soon, I'm sure. Okay, so yeah. Anyways, what else is going on? Oh, I'm going to share it in just a few minutes, but first, I want to just go ahead and say hello. Again, if you're coming in and you're watching live, or if you're watching the replay later on, please do say hello. Let us know where you are at. And hello, Jess. Thank you, as always, for joining. I really do appreciate you. And thank you so much for the congratulations. I appreciate it. And Tamika, hi there in Maryland, but headed to what is it? Estepona in a month. Okay. I'm thinking, is that Greece? I don't know where that is. And educate me, please. I feel like I should be assuming that it's Spain, but I don't think so because I just assume that means Greece. So please, uh, that name just sounds very Greek to me. But yes, please do. Yeah, tell us where that is. I'm not trying to put all your business out there. I'm just curious as to where that is exactly. I feel like I can just look that up, but I'm just gonna wait. Anyways, so please do share. What are you doing? How are you bringing joy to your life? How are you locating your cozy? What are you doing that is just about you? That's something that makes you smile. That gives you like brightens your day a little bit. That wasn't focused on anybody else. You were selfish and it was just about you. Please do share in the comments. I would love to know. So here's what's going on in my world. It's for me, but it's turning into something bigger. Okay. So I do conversation exchange with a couple of different people throughout the week, so that they can practice their English and I can practice my Spanish. And there's a lady that I do a conversation exchange with that's in Madrid. She's a wonderful lady, and we've been doing conversation exchanges now. We meet like once a week for I guess maybe the past almost 2 months now. Wow. And I feel like my Spanish really isn't getting any better. That's just me. That's a whole other subject. Anyways, I had heard about the Camino de Santiago. Basically, it's a trek. I think it's like an 1100 mile trek that can goes from like um, Portugal, Spain, and France, or vice versa. And people walk it. It's like some kind of spirit. For some people it's a spiritual thing. For some people it's like giving yourself this clarity. But I've heard about it, and the whole time I've heard about it in the past year that I've been here, it's like that's somebody else's mission. That's not my mission. But I've heard about it a few times. And so the lady that I do the conversation exchange with, the language exchange with, she actually went a couple of weeks ago, and she did it, and she just did like a I think it was like either a 3 or 5 day trek that she did with her and her friend. And she was telling me about it when we did our conversation exchange this week. And it really just, it was so good to hear all the details about it and how much she really enjoyed it. And she had done it like maybe, I think she said she did it 10 or 15 years ago with her teenage son at the time. And he, to this day, has said, he's an adult now. And he said that was still one of the best experiences that he ever had, was doing that trek for, I don't know how long they did it, 10 or 15 years ago. So she did a mini version of it a couple of weeks ago. And again, just just expressing how wonderful it was. So I've been thinking about it because I knew that she was leading up to the trip, and we had talked about it beforehand. And so I had been thinking about it. I was like, maybe that's something that I can do. And so just with the little information that I had, I said, well, maybe this is something I can do maybe in March of next year or in September next year. Not this year, not this happened. Nope. But next year. And so I had actually talked to my daughter a little bit. I told her about it, and she was like, "You know what? I might be open to doing this next September." And I'm like, "Okay." So after I talked to my language exchange partner this past week, I went and did a deep dive on YouTube. So I like set up a whole playlist of just all the vlogs that I could find talking about what the experience is of doing this journey. And the stories or the vlogs that I saw, it leaned everywhere from people have that just did like the shorter trips, or to ones that like did it and they trekked across France and and Spain and Portugal, and it took them like 2 months to do this. Okay, so all kinds of variations, all kinds of great stories, all kinds of spiritual awakenings, all kinds of terrible stories, all kinds of like, this is like I packed too heavy for this, so all of that. And I was like really inspired. And I'm like, I know my daughter wants to do it possibly with me, or she said she would do it with me in September. But I'm like, I feel like I need to do two shorts, one in the spring and then one in the fall of next year. Yeah. So I had this bright idea. I said, you're going to do this, but let's just go ahead and see within your community who else might be interested. Okay. Mhm. So again, this is all just a thought process, okay? But I just felt like this is something that I think I want to do. And yeah, I'm not gonna trek across, and do like, some 2 month journey. They call it a pilgrimage. I'm not doing that, but I am very open to doing the spring and fall short trips. So I put it out there and I created a little, Google form, and I just said, I reached out to the women in my community and I just said, hey, this is just, I'm just thinking it through, still a lot of research, but would love to know who would be interested in possibly doing either both or one of them in the spring or fall. And I have like 25 people that already like said yes, okay, and filled out the form. So now I'm kind of like, oh shit, I got to do something now. So I'm excited. I am really excited. This is truly something of locating my cozy and stepping into something that is unknown, that's weird, that I'm like, my feet gonna hurt. Okay. All the emotions and all the thoughts, as soon as I saw the amount of people that started showing interest. And of course, I know everybody that shows interest is not going to come, and they're not going to be able to come both times. And a lot of the people that are interested are already either living in Spain or know that they'll be somewhere in the EU. So that's pretty cool also. But yes, right now, I have a pretty good group of women that are very interested in possibly doing this trek in northern Spain in the spring, and I'm looking forward to it. So, with that said, if you are interested or just want to, because I haven't, the, I'm, I don't know what the community that what it's going to look like. I know that there's some things. I've actually reached out to a couple of women, a couple of Black women that have made this journey already, whether it was the full one or the short one. That I've reached out to. Four and three said yes, they would like to be interviewed on my channel. So I'm excited about that. So we'll be getting all the 411, okay? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. And I'm really excited about some of the women that are like, yes, I think I really want to do this. I've heard about this. Let's do something. Let's try to get this together. So, yeah, with that, if you are interested and you would like to possibly just get some information, and it may be that you're not going to go with my group, so to speak, next year. Maybe it's some information that you just want to get because you're going to do it maybe with your own group of people or by yourself. A lot of these people that have done this, especially the women that I saw that posted, they soloed it. They were like solo pilgrimage by themselves because for various reasons. And thoroughly enjoyed it and found so much. They had their own, I guess, spiritual and awakening and feelings of just kind of, I guess, I can't think of the word right now. They found some kind of peace with that journey. So, anyways, that's how I'm locating my cozy. I have decided that I'm going to do at least one of them next year for sure. I might do the one in spring and then just be like the one for fall, be like, hell no. Okay, so I don't know. We shall see. But yeah, if you're interested, there is a link in the description if you want to get some information, and you'll be like in the know about what's going on and what that whole process looks like. Okay, okay. So, oh, thank you very much. Let me see. Hold on. Let me go back. I'm going back to the comments. Okay. So I feel like I should have known that Estepona is in Spain. Yeah, I should have known that. I don't know why I didn't, but okay. Anyways, yeah, and yes, this is no, it's not a marathon. No, 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 no. Okay, she said that sounds like a marathon. No, I can walk 5 miles easily. That's because I do that like maybe 2 or 3 times a week, just as a on purpose to get up in the morning and go exercise, to get some exercise in, and then plus I don't have a car here or whatever stuff. So yeah, walking is kind of just ingrained in me now to walk everywhere, but it's a slow pace. So what I'm saying right now is not like, don't take this as word as bond, okay? Because I don't know for sure, but from what I understand, the shortest trek that I kind of see as far as the routes, because there's so many routes that you can take, but one of the really good ones is like, I think it is 100 kilometers, which comes out to 62 miles. So 62 miles within 5 days. Okay. So a marathon is like you running that. No, you're walking, and there's like you have to. I've been watching videos about making sure that you're packing, because if you're carrying this, you want to make sure that the your backpack that you're carrying is no more than 10% of your total body weight. Yeah. So yeah, but we're not running. We're walking. We're gliding, and it may or may not be 62 miles, because if I want to tap out at at 50 miles, that's my choice. Yeah, so there's no hard and fast, and there's options for you to, I guess, bypass some areas, or stop at any point and hop a bus or a cab or a train or whatever stuff to go back, or go to wherever you're supposed to be leaving to go back to. I'll be going back to Madrid. Yeah, so we'll see, but no, it's not a marathon. Okay, I don't do marathons. I do a lot of things. I don't do marathons. So, anyways, the information is there below. Um, if you are interested and want some more information and want to be in the know and learn as I learn, but the women that I'll be interviewing on this channel, yeah, that's going to be open information, and I can't wait to talk to them and just get some insight. And again, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to hear about it all. Yes. Hmm. Let's see. Tamika says, "Have you connected with Christine Job of Flourish in the Form?" No, but I tell you what, I don't know who that is, but I'm going to write that down, or put a little note, doohickey note right here, right now, so that I will know. Uh, I don't want to accidentally Job of Flourish in the Form. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Okay. So, let's see. I think that was it. Please do make sure that you do like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, so that you will know whenever I go live and have anything of importance and insightful to say. And so yeah, um, you'll be in the know. Okay. So I wanted to talk today because sometimes as I'm just like at home, and I think, or I find different things, or remember things that, oh, this was helpful for me when I moved here to Spain. that I'm like, I really want to share this. And sometimes I'll like, oh, you need to just do a little clip and post that on Instagram. And I don't. I don't. So I just wanted to take this time to just share some things that I remember, and I've had my little list building, and I think that it's important that you know this. Whether you're moving to Spain or whether you're going someplace else in the EU or some other part of the world, I think that this information comes in pretty darn handy. So some of it I've probably already said before. Some of it I have not. Um, and also, just FYI, if you do, the link below also in the description has like a sign up for two things. You can sign up for Join Black in Zaragoza. That's me on the Facebook. It's a Facebook group. So if you're looking at doing some country shopping, and Zaragoza is such a well kept secret. If you're interested, you can join that Facebook group, and you will actually get a checklist that I've created. That kind of gives you some insight on the things that you need to consider. On that, there will be some possible affiliates or some kind of like referrals or whatever. But overall, it's some good information. And then also, I think I have my email subscription list on here. I suck at sending out emails. I do. The best way for you to see what's going on is is through my Facebook, when I post on Instagram, or if I have something very different that's happening, then I'll post it on my YouTube and we'll talk about it. But yeah, these are options that you will also be able to get the full checklist about moving abroad and things that you need to consider. With that said, let's get into it. So, um, one of the things that I realized I had not done, and I have not talked about enough, I feel like I have not talked about it enough, is if you are moving abroad, especially to the EU, and I mean, they've done it everywhere. I was so lost because I had all these bags. I had like 4 duffel bags in my suitcase. I sold most of my things when I moved. I sold or gave them away when I let go of my apartment back in 2022. Was it 2022? 2023. 2023. Anyways, I sold or let go most of myself when I got rid of my apartment, and then I started pet sitting full time. And then when I actually got ready to move to Spain, I still had a storage, and a lot of stuff I did let go of. I donated. I was fine, but there's some things that I just could not get rid of. There's certain personal items that I'm like, that goes with me to the end of the earth. So, in my quest to move abroad, to Spain, um, I did have to have some things brought over. So I had suitcases, nothing furniture wise, nothing too big, but it was just a lot of suitcases. I think I bought 2 duffel bags. Um, Back in the States and filled them up. But I was like, you cannot possibly arrive in Madrid and then take a bus, oh, excuse me, and then take a cab over to the train station and then get on a train and go to Zaragoza with 5 pieces of luggage, for lack of better, yeah, with 5 pieces of luggage. You just can't do it. Yeah. So, I mean, I was going through all these. I was like, well, maybe my daughter can meet me in Madrid and then she can help me lug all this stuff. And I was just going through all of the hassles and trying to figure out, it's taking the biggest, longest route. And the thing is this, I went online into my little Facebook groups of people that had already moved to Spain, and I put in the question, like, how did you guys get all your luggage over here? I don't need to like get a freight container or anything. I just have like 5 bags. And some people said, send it via UPS or FedEx. That wasn't happening. Oh my God, that wasn't happening. Yeah, that was like crazy expensive. I'm talking about thousands of dollars. And I kept seeing people say, send my bag. And I'm like, I, I don't know what this is, but I thought it was a scam. I literally thought it was a scam because when I went in to do the research and to send 3 big bags to Spain when I know that like UPS and all that, they were like, no, we're gonna charge like $5,000 or whatever it was. I can't remember how much UPS or FedEx said it was, but it was enough for me to stop and be like, well, that's not happening. It's in my bag was like, Came out to like maybe $200 a bag. How is that possible? And I questioned it. I couldn't accept it. I was like, nope, that's not right. So they're just gonna lose my they're gonna lose my shit, and I'm never gonna see it again. So it took me a while to just resign myself to the fact that these people have already moved to different countries. One person was telling their story about how they had to use Send My Bag to ship something to Africa, to ship their stuff to Africa. So I mean, the service is worldwide. Okay, maybe less. I don't know. There might be some countries that they don't ship to. I don't know. But Spain was on the list. So I went through and I, did a deep dive search. I watched YouTube videos to make sure and understand, like, is this a legit company? It is. Um, Great customer service. They talked me through everything. The website tells you exactly what to do. And even when I messed it up, they would reach out to me and be like, so this is wrong. This is what you put on the form. We need you to correct that. This is what it needs to say. And even customer services, I was like asking them, and I was like, are you sure this is the right price? Are you sure it's going to get to me? And they were like, yes, ma'am. It'll probably arrive the same day that you arrive. And that didn't happen. There was a little hitch. It's like the my stuff arrived like a week after I got here, 1 week, and I had to pay customs. I had to pay the customs before they would release it, and that came out for those 3 bags. It came out to 70 euro. So on top of the 600 USD that I paid 70 euro to customs. I think actually I want to say it was less than that. Yeah, but I'm just gonna go with a round number and say I think it was 70 euro. Okay. And it was funny because when they reached out to me and said, like, hey, we're holding your things in customs and you have to pay, I was sweating because I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna charge me like another $500-600 before they release my stuff here in Spain. And I was like, oh, that's the scam. That's how they're gonna get you. No, it was 70 euro. They delivered it. Me and my daughter were actually in Portugal at the time, and my son-in-law reached out and he was like, "Your stuff's been delivered. It's here." Yeah. So, just long story short, is Send My Bag. I'm sure that there are other services out there that are comparable to it, but overall, the customer service experience. They answer the phone. I think that they were based out of Australia. I think the company's based out of Australia. So, but great customer service. And besides it taking a week longer to get for me to receive it, girl. I mean, when they came to pick up, I had wrapped it, and the guy that picked up my bags went from the states. He was surprised that I had all my paperwork together because he said usually they have to help people still fill out the paperwork to make sure that that is right. So when I handed it to him and I had it like taped to my bag and all this stuff, he was like, "Wow, and he actually thanked me for like having everything prepared." So he just took the bags and was gone. So, anyways, I hope that this information helps somebody. Okay. So, what else is on my list? She said, "Did you bring a bag full of money?" That was funny. That was really funny. Thank you. I wish that would have been my check bag or my carry-on if it was a bag full of money, baby. Trust me. Okay. Anyways, so what else have I kind of learned? Um, I'm trying to make sure I'm trying to block it all together. And also there's some things that have come up because I have had a few people that have either moved here to Spain and more directly to Zaragoza, that I've helped them with some information. I've passed on some information and I've helped them understand some processes also. So when in doing that, I've been like, oh, I need to tell when I do my video, I need to tell people about this. So hold on, electricity and phone service. Okay, this is my little extra note over here. Um, so you can get this, but do it. Get the universal power block, the adapter. Do. Let me see, what do I have? Okay, so this is old school one, okay, but it still works great because yeah, it has like this works in the EU and all the other ones. They have like, okay, if I can get it to do it, it's not going to do it. Anyways, yeah, here we go. So this is the American one, and they have like it's universal. That's what it means, universal. But the newer ones, because this one I've had this one for a couple of years now, and it works great. But the newer power blocks they have with the USBs, they have the C and the regular USBs. So yeah, get those. I think they might be, if it's $20, you know, yeah, it's, I can't remember how much they cost, but it's very important. Get a universal power block so that you can plug in your laptops. You can plug in anything that is that has a US plug. You can plug it into the outlets here in the EU, because in the EU, I can't seem to get this. Yeah. Anyways, in the EU, it looks like this. This is the EU plug. Okay. So then you would plug in the US part right here. Okay. Okay. And also, guys, if you have any questions, because I'm just kind of talking and sharing what I know, but if you have any questions, put a Q in front of that. Ask some questions, please. If I don't know the answer, we'll research and figure it out together. Okay. One of the other things that I cannot stress enough, because one of the young ladies that just moved here was having problems, and I did not tell her about this before she came, and she had some major issues. One is um, either get a unlocked phone. If you haven't paid off your own phone that you have, either pay it off or just buy a little cheap unlocked phone so that you can put an eSIM for data. So what can happen is, like when you're moving here, of course, you're going to eventually get like a phone service. You're going to get phone service here, but when you're actually arriving, you're not going to have it right away. So if you get one of those travel 90-day eSIMs, I think that I paid for 90 days. I want to say I paid $90 for 90 days. I think that's what it came out to. It may have been a little bit less, but no, yeah, I think it was like, yeah, right around $90 for 90 days. And I used, who did I use? Hold on. I should have this up already, but I don't. So yeah, it is what it is. Cell phone, travel eSIM. Who did I use? Why don't I have this on here? Okay, I don't know why. There's Aerola, but that's not who I used. And I'm looking at my little cheat sheet, and I know it's on here someplace, but for some reason I am blind. Cell phone. I don't know why it's not on my sheet, but I feel like it's on here and I'm just like really, really blind right now. And that's why I can't see it. So I will post that later on. That is really bothering me. I have all the cell phone information, eSIM, 90 days. Okay, it's not on my sheet. As a matter of fact, anybody in here and stuff, what eSIM 90-day travel have you used? If I see the name, it'll come to me and I'll be like, that's who I was talking about. For some reason, it's not popping up in my little cheat sheet right now, but I would love to know who you use. So there's Orange, there's Vodafone, there's Aerola, and there's a couple of other ones, and I can't remember the one that I used, but get the 90-day just for data. You won't be able to use it, like you can't make any like, you won't have a phone number, but that will allow you to, use your WhatsApp without any issues. You will be able to get on the internet and do those things with that data. And you can do it specifically to, I think, the EU. You can do it specifically just for Spain. I think I did mine for like the EU overall. And it was, like I said, 90 euro. But that way you're not trying to like go and find some kind of internet access. You have the data to access the information on your phone, to use WhatsApp, not your regular phone number. That's different. Okay, not your regular phone service. That's different. Anyways, but then after that 90 days is up, during that time, you can go ahead and do your research to actually find what phone service that you're going to have ongoing. But that way, you don't have to worry. You're not so stressed out trying to connect with family and friends, or trying to like put your phone in what is it, international roam or airport mode or airplane mode or whatever that is. You'll just have the data for the 90 days. And you can renew after 90 days, but it's a whole new contract. There's something about the travel data that only lets you do it for up to 90 days. So, and I think that I don't know if you can extend or you have to get a whole new contract. Um, I keep saying contract. It's like a new service. You have to get like a whole new key code or something like that. And it's the eSIM. So you can either go and they can put the SIM in that phone, or you can just do an eSIM and you just download it into the phone. And it's very easy. Very easy. Let me see if somebody else. Olafly. Okay. Okay. Nobody put that in there. It just clicked with me just now. Cheryl PhD said hello, and I was like, "That's it, Olafly." Yeah, Olafly is the one that I used, and it worked great. I'm putting this down so I can make sure I don't get any kind of kickback from that at all because I don't use it anymore. But Olafly is what I used, and it was really great. So I need to put that on my list. Um, what else? Okay, so we got the eSIM. Make sure you get the local SIM card eventually, like prepaid data. That's what it is. It's prepaid data, but get it. You'll thank me later. I've said this before. Please, you don't really need high heel shoes. Like wedges, okay, cool. Get comfortable shoes. I have not worn heels, like, my heels in a long time, but really in the EU, heels are nice. They wear a lot of nice wedges that are very comfortable, but being that there's a lot of walking in Spain, like where I live, it's very walkable. Most people, I mean, people have cars here, but comfortable shoes, especially like if you are in Lisbon, Portugal. Those cobblestones kick that butt, man. If you go to Costa Rica, cobblestones kick. We were in Jaca. That was my first international travel. We went to Jaco or Jaca. Yes, Costa Rica, and I busted my butt. I was actually wearing flip flops. It was raining. Yeah, the cobblestone got me. But all in all, get comfortable shoes. You don't need a lot. Just get a few pair of good, comfortable shoes that'll get you through starting. I've had two family members that have come to visit. I've had quite a few family and friends that have come to visit me since I moved here. Two of them, I specifically said, don't bring a lot of shoes. Don't. If they listen, no. One of my daughters brought cute little heels. She's like, I have to have shoes for, every outfit. And I was like, don't do that. She didn't listen. She was in pain. We had to walk one time from a restaurant, and she was just like, this is horrible. We need to find a cab now. We could not find a cab for a while. We had to walk quite a distance before we were able to locate a cab. And I was like, I told you. Yeah. So comfortable shoes. Now, this is something that's done in certain parts of the US, but not everywhere. Like in Austin, I know that it's like you bring your own bags, reusable bags. That is absolute rule here in Spain. Reusable bags is very, very important because they will charge you. Now, they charge you like, I don't know, no more than like 10 cents. Some places charge you like maybe 25 cents, depending on what store it is. But try to get into that habit, because even when I pay 10 cents for my grocery bags at the store, because I, maybe went to the grocery store at the last minute and had to get more than a few things. Yeah, I keep that bag forever because I just paid 10 cents for it. I have gotten into the habits now of whenever I leave, I just automatically get like one of my bags and I just put it in my purse, and so for just in case, because I know I might at the last minute feel like I need to stop at the store and get something. So I just make it a habit of just putting my little reusable bags in my purse so I can have it. Good information. In Spain, there you can't take your jugs someplace to and refill them. Like in the States, you have where you can go into Whole Foods or Kroger's or HEB or whatever the grocery store is, and there's a section where you can take your jugs and refill the water bottles. And I was so used to doing that. I think back in the day it was like 19 cents, and now it's gotten up to like last I checked, I think it was like 45 cents to refill a gallon jug of water in the States. They don't have that here. So I did go ahead and invest. I like Bazoya water here. That's the only water that I really like. But Bazoya water gets expensive when you're like, getting like gallon and a half of those like every couple of days because I go through some water. So if you don't want to be buying that, if you don't want to incur that cost, uh, the Brita water filter, yes, I actually had to grow into that. I really did not like the taste. Now I've figured out how to um, I now use it and I just pour the water into another container that I keep in the fridge. So I don't let the water just sit in the actual pitcher with the filter just sitting there. I pour the water, I filter, and then I put it in another jug and I put that in the fridge. So that seems to done the trick for me. But just FYI, there's no place for you to go and get just refill your jugs. They do have water service. So they do have where you can set it up where they come and bring like the big things of the water that you just like, put it in the dispense thing. They do have that. Okay. Let's see. But also just FYI, I don't drink the tap water in Zaragoza. The tap water in Madrid is delish. I don't have, I don't trust the tap water in Zaragoza enough because there have been times when I've like started running the water and it's like you'll just see it like it looks kind of not clear. And I'm like, no, we're not chancing that. So I don't drink. I have to be really, really thirsty. I have to be really super thirsty for me to chance that. But in Madrid, great water, wonderful water, straight out the faucet. You don't need a filter. It's good water. Okay. So, some of the things that you have to get used to, and it's been, I still have my thermostat on my, not my thermostat. Let's try that again. The temperature on my phone that says what the temperature is and all that on my phone, it's still in Fahrenheit, but everything here is in Celsius. So the stove, when you turn on the oven, it's in Celsius. The temperature when you go outside, if it's 32 degrees, it's hot. 32 degrees in Celsius is hot. Okay. I think, don't get me wrong, what is it? 1 degree for every 32 degrees. Is that right? Let's see, Fahrenheit, and I'm still spelling it wrong. Okay, there we go. So like, why am I can't seem to spell Fahrenheit. Uh, nope, that's not right. So, okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so Fahrenheit is 32 degrees. Why do I have this? This is different. Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay. So 1 degree in Celsius is 33 degrees in Fahrenheit. So yeah, so if I put in, say, if it's 32 degrees here, which has happened, 35, my daughter's like, it's freaking hot in here. That's 95 degrees in Fahrenheit. So I, I'm still fighting that fight, and people are like, just why do you stop thinking in Fahrenheit? Think in Celsius. My brain don't work like that. It's still in Fahrenheit. So whenever I'm cooking and I'm looking at a recipe and I'm looking at my oven, I always have to go really fast or ask my little I have a little Echo Dot. I'll go on there. I don't want to say it like out loud because I'm scared she'll be like, "What you want?" But I will ask my little Echo Dot, or go on my phone and be like, what is the conversion if if I need to cook this at 375, what's the conversion in Celsius? I say get used to it. I'm not used to it. I still fight that fight. Okay. Let's see here. Ooh. Ooh. Beatrice, I'm going to come back at you on that one because, like, I actually did a consultation yesterday, and the lady asked me that, and I was like, I don't know. And the reason why I don't know, people are like, "What are you talking about?" I'll come back to that. Beatrice asked me, so, like, the three things that I wish I had known before moving to Spain. So this is what she asked me. The thing is, I don't have a good answer on that yet because I don't have the perfect answer because I visited Spain 4 times before I actually moved here. That's why. But I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to hide that for now, but I'm going to come back to you and I'm going to have a better answer in a little bit. And actually, some of these things that I'm talking about now, I guess that would hit the point. Oh, I've said this before, but I think it's worth mentioning. It's not even on my list, but I just thought about this. When I visited Spain several times and I'm on my Google and following directions and it's telling me how to get there, and they're like, turn right at this street. And I'm looking for the street name and I don't see a street sign anywhere. It's because it's on the building. The street names are on the buildings. They're not like on a little pole with a little, with a little green sign that has white font that tells you which street you're on. You have to look up at the building. So yes, I literally thought that Google Maps just sucked in Spain because I was like, this thing doesn't know what it's talking about. I don't know which way I'm going. I'm not sure. And then it took me, I think I was maybe on my second visit. I think it was my second visit when I finally realized. I was like, girl, look up. That's the street name right there. Ooh. Okay. So yeah, that comes in handy. Also, this rule is not for everywhere, but in Zaragoza, Spain, I have learned about because I usually just take the tram. The tram is like gets me wherever I need to go and a lot of walking. But in Zaragoza, and this might be true in some of the other towns in Spain, um, on the bus, it doesn't say it doesn't say like, oh, like here's the Fondren exit, the Fondren bus stop is coming up. And and I'm naming like the streets in Houston, Texas, because that's where I'm from. Here's the Chimney Rock bus stop that's coming up. No, no, no. You can be on Calle San Augusta, which is just the street, Calle Street, Calle San Augusta, and it will say Calle San Augusta 38, Calle San Augusta, San Augusta, San Augusta 52. Calle San Augusta 35. Yeah, or 9. So just know I'm looking, I'm like, okay, where do I get off at? And I'm looking on the map, and what's happening is you're looking on the map on your phone, and then you're looking at the little sign, the little display on the bus. And I'm like, why does it keep saying the same street? It's not telling me where I'm getting off at. And then I realize the number at the end is what it tells you where to get off at. Yeah. So just be aware of that. Um, yeah, little thing that I just discovered, like maybe just a few weeks ago, because I've really kind of taken to riding the bus on I'm just a rebel. So yeah, it's cool. Just know that sometimes you have a wonderful bus driver that drives with a lot of care, and sometimes you have a bus driver that drives like I don't give a fuck. Okay, I mean, I have been on the bus and just like they're going around these little tiny streets or whatever, and just gassing it, and then hitting some hard stops. You never know. Um, yeah, so you just have to brace yourself. It's not the norm, but one of the young ladies that moved here recently, she was like, I'm scared for my life. And I was like, oh, you're over exaggerating. That's because I don't take the bus that often. And I did not discount what she said, but in my mind, I was like, oh, girl, it's no big deal. And then I guess about a week later, I decided to go to the mall, so I took the bus. And yeah, I was like, am I gonna make it? I don't know. So yeah. Also on the bus, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. It's summertime, and sometimes the AC is working on the bus, and sometimes it's not. Everyday life. Always have that fan. Either the manual fan that like the manual fan works great. I also have the motorized fan that I got from the discount store. Keep those on your beings at all time, no matter where you are in Spain. Always, that's the first thing. Go to a discount store, get you a fan. Whether it's one of those neck things, like especially if you're a woman of a certain age, like I am, stuff postmenopausal. Yes, but if it's hot, it's hot. So always have a fan in your purse that's easily accessible. Okay, I don't know. They might cost anywhere from 5 to 10 euro and stuff, but yeah, hold on to that for dear life. It'll come in handy. Okay. I've said this many, many, many times, and I will say this forever. Find the community before you move here. Um, find, join those Facebook groups. Find out, like I have a Facebook group for Black in Zaragoza, but I also have a WhatsApp group that is just for the people that now are here, living here in the vicinity or living in Zaragoza, because join them now, get to know people now, introduce yourself now, so that when you get here, wherever you're moving to, before you get there, you're already building that community. Can't stress that enough. You're already building that community. Okay. Uh, let's see here. Stores are closed on Sundays. A lot of them are like malls are not open. Nope. On Sundays, the malls are not open. The grocery stores are closed. There's one grocery store here that's right down the street from me that is open on Sundays and on holidays. That's the only store. Like I think they have one other location in Zaragoza, maybe two, that's actually open. But it's the only store, grocery store wise, that's open. Everything shut down on Sundays. I always found it just weird because I'm like, it's the weekend, Sunday, the mall should be open. Nope, it's closed. Okay, so just measure your expectations. When you are ready to get electricity in your name, if and now let me preface by saying this. I have been in my apartment now for a year, and my landlord was like, we'll just leave the electricity on in my name, in the landlord's name. And so I just pay the landlord whatever. She sends me the bill every month for the electricity for my unit, and I just pay her. And so now that she realizes that I ain't going nowhere, she was like, okay, I think you need to go and get the internet and the electricity on in your name. And I was very much offended. I was like, I don't want to, because I was scared. Now, some people have had some issues, because a lot of times you have to go there. You can't just go online and be like, hey, I need service. There's a lot of steps that are involved, but I was able to get my electricity on. um, and I had to go in, and I just used the same electricity service that my landlord already had in her name. So I just had it switched over into my name. But I had to go in, and the person that I was dealing with, um, for the service, he didn't speak any English. So, but we were able to work it out so well that as long as I had a bank account, a Spanish bank account, which you can open those up online, that's actually pretty easy. Also, I must say, I was surprised. Once you have your NIE number, once you have your identification number that says that you have residency, yeah, you can go and open up a bank account. You can do that online, and you can get electricity. You have to have a ID with your number, and you also have to have a Spanish bank account. And it was actually pretty easy. So much so that the guy, once he set me up, he was like, He told me that it was expensive, like the rate for the electricity was expensive, but he couldn't like give me a different um, uh, rate. He said, but he's like, but call in and tell them that you want this particular program or whatever it is, and that'll reduce your electricity bill. So I was very pleased. It's doable. There's just some things that you have to do, and you have to be patient. As long as you're patient and not stressing yourself out, it makes the experience so much better, even if you don't speak English. Just understand that there is bureaucracy that happens, things move slowly because I did all this, I set up everything, and they're like, you don't have to do anything else. We just have to wait. And I still haven't gotten any kind of email confirmation. And finally, somebody said, no, they're not going to send you an email confirmation. They're just going to send you a bill and say, all of a sudden, you're just going to see it in your name. There's no like, maybe once I get the bill, then I can log in and do make all the whatever changes I want to. But right now, they were like, no, you don't get any kind of like email that says, welcome to our utility company. We are here to serve you. I'm just going to get a bill in my name. That's it. Okay. Ah, let's see. What else did I need to put on here? Yes. Okay. Yes, your NIE does expire. I don't know if I believe it's good for the length of your. I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to tell you something because I know I have it, and I guess I should check and see if it expires every year. I don't know, but as far as I know, I think it's good for the length of my residency. I have 5 years, so now you're gonna make me go. Hold on. I happen to have my purse right here, so now I'm gonna look and see. I'm curious. Yeah, get you a bus pass, by the way. This gets me. I can get on the tram and the bus, and I can reload at the tram stop and add more money. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I expire. Oh, yeah, I'm good till 2029. Yes, I have 5 years. Yeah, so my card is good for 5 years. Yeah, cool. Actually, 4 years. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 4 years. Ooh, here's something that you might want to know. Just FYI. I'm gonna put this in the comments so everybody knows. Um, when you're doing the dates, when you're putting your dates on things in the EU, actually most other countries, I found out that United States is the only one that one of the few countries that does it this way. So say that you're doing okay. So say that you're saying September 3rd, 2025, but in other countries, what that's actually saying is March 9th, 2025. Okay. So just FYI. Okay. If you put what we think of and we're saying, oh, September 3rd, 2025, yeah, they're saying no, you're saying March, and they will tell you you're wrong. Okay. So yeah, let me show. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that you guys can see that. So just a bit of knowledge there. And this brings me, I was telling somebody else about this some time ago, back when I was working for a company. She's back in 2015, 2016, and I was a supervisor. And there was a young lady somebody that was on my team, and she would put commas in between instead of instead of a period, she would put commas. And one day I went to her and I was like, you're putting this wrong. I don't know why you're putting a comma there, but that should be a period. That should not be for $12 or whatever. And she graciously said, okay, no problem. Years later, I realized again, that's a US thing. Yeah, that's people, it's opposite in other countries in the EU. They put like where we would put the 0.00, they put $12, and then like the period goes where the comma is, and the comma goes where the period is. So anyways, yeah, I've learned that since then, and I've always wanted to reach out to her and tell her, girl, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Yeah. So anyways, just a little bit of information I thought we might find valuable. A lot of people know this. I didn't know until I got here. Because I was like, why do they write like that? When you get your bank statement or whenever they give you a receipt and you're like, oh, now I get it. Okay. So, let's see. Oh, yes, yes. uh, Jess was asking about, do they have any recommendations of Facebook groups in Valencia? Yes. And Afro Girls of Valencia, yes, they are a wonderful, wonderful group. I actually interviewed the lady who created Afro Girls of Valencia, Gilda. I interviewed her like a few months ago, but I've since met her in person because I did a pet sit in Valencia a few months ago. And if you want to hear more about that, go check out what I posted last week, the wonderful story about my pet sitting experience in Valencia. But all that to say is, I actually a group of us got together with from the Afro Girls of Valencia, and we had lunch. We went to a little Market Square thing and had lunch and enjoyed ourselves. So it's a great group, and they do have activities. They do like like after hour hangouts on Fridays sometimes. So yeah, it's a great group. You'll love it. So let me go back to Beatrice. What are three things that I wish that I had known before moving to Spain? You know, in my anxiety and all the tension that I was experiencing back in the States, I didn't know that, had I known that my life would be so much different and for the better. And I don't mean to sound like, I'm not trying to sugarcoat, just FYI. I'm not trying to sugarcoat and be like, oh, it's always wonderful. Y'all know that's not how I roll. But had I known about this other side of not living under, not knowing, like constant maybe fear of, like, is somebody gonna come up in here and act a fool today or whatever. To not have that burden, it's just been a game changer. And I think that goes for anybody that you see, whether they are in somewhere in Asia, whether they are somewhere in Africa, whether they are somewhere in Mexico, wherever they are, if they're in the EU somewhere. I think that seems to be the common denominator. The common factor is the weight that you feel lifted off of your shoulders when you are when you're not in combat. That's the best way to describe it. When you're not in combat, I cannot. I'm so thankful that my kids are grown, and I'm so thankful that my grandchildren are going to be going to school here in Spain, because I cannot imagine how normalized, these kids are hearing about all these shootings and all these things, and of course nobody knows when it's going to happen, and it's like, okay, it's time to get up and go to school. All right, y'all have a good day. Love you. Bye. I I don't. I mean, in my mind, I'm like, I would just have to homeschool my child. I don't have the patience to homeschool my child. I'm like, well, you would have to. I'm in all these what if scenarios. Uh, Granted, my kids are grown, and I'm now a grandmother, but just to have children in the U.S. and to send them, have to send them to school, and it's normal for them to not know if somebody is going to do something that can be very detrimental to them. It's just overwhelming. So just to not have that feeling of dread, just walking down the street, to walk down the street in the middle of the night and feel safe, that shocked me. Yes, as I'm thinking about little things that I was just talking to when I did my consultation with this lady yesterday. That was one of the things I told her. The first time that I walked down the street here at 11:30 at night down an alley in Zaragoza, I was like, what is going on? I can't believe I'm doing this. And then fast forward a couple of years later, when my sister came with me here to visit, and we were going back to our Airbnb, and again, we were walking down the street in the middle of the night, and she was like, I can't be walking down this street like this. And I was like, you are safe. She didn't understand. And then, like, I guess 24 hours in, she was like, oh, you really are safe. This is not to say that there is never any crime here. That is not what I'm saying. But I'm saying I feel safe. And had I known that earlier, I would have been busting my ass to get the hell up out of the US way earlier. Yeah. And so, ah, let's see here. She says, I'm a mom in the US and we have been homeschooling from jump. Okay. Once we moved to Spain, we are comfortable with in person. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what I would have done had all of this been as prevalent. My youngest graduated in 2008. So, but I don't know what I would have done had it was already things were already happening even then, but nothing like what's happening now. And I can say like coulda, woulda, shoulda. Not everybody has that option. They don't have the resources to homeschool or get their kids into another kind of uh, schooling situation that is going to be most productive and safe. So yes, I'm glad that you have that option, that you've been able to homeschool your kids. That's amazing. I cannot imagine what that's like. So yes, just to have that burden. I remember, and I'm going to go on a little bit, but I'm going to say this because and I've said this before. I remember the times when I actually would come to Spain and visit, and then I'd come back and I would, as the plane was landing back in Dallas, as it was about to touch down, I could literally feel the tension just rising back up in me. Just it was just so it was so palpable, visceral. I can feel it. I could feel it. Just the tension just coming up in my body. And yeah, it's like, oh, I can really feel what is happening now as I'm entering back into the United States. So, yeah. And since I have moved back in April of last year, and I talked to, thank goodness for technology. Thank goodness for technology. You know, I am intentional. I'm very intentional about setting up times to make sure that I am video chatting or calling or just talking to family and friends on a regular basis, whether it's once a month, sometimes it's once a quarter, but depending on who it is, yes, you have to be intentional about maintaining that relationship with the people that are important to you. Sometimes it fall off, yeah, sometimes it do fall off. Life is life, and people are busy on this side of the world, and back home in the States. So I get that people are lifing, but being intentional about keeping that contact and maintaining that relationship. But with that, the level of stress, I have not experienced that level of stress. Now, I did start having some anxiety attacks like recently, and I actually posted something about that a couple of weeks ago. But overall, I'm like, I'm trying to like root cause. Why are you having anxiety attacks? Like, why is your blood pressure all of a sudden going up? I'm root causing that, and I'm like really doing some work to find out what it is. Like, am I just like on some PTSD stuff, and I don't even realize that I'm stressed? There's stressors that happen, and things and challenges that happen in anybody's life, no matter where you are. But it's a different level, and it's acceptable for me right now. It's okay. I can deal with it. My body says, "Girl, you're okay." Okay. So let me see. I think that was it. Yeah, the travel eSIM or data that I use, the prepaid data that I use was through Olafly, just FYI. And I think that's it for now. Oh, also, some people I like Wise. I've been using Wise, and I've been using that's like you can like set up to put money into a different currency. So it used to be TransferWise, now it's just Wise. I've been using that, and it's been wonderful. If I need it, and I was using it for years before I even moved because the team that I managed was international, and sometimes I would send them like little bonuses or little extra things. So some of them lived in the Philippines, one person lived in the Ukraine, so I had to always convert the currency to their currency for them to receive funds if I decided to do a little extra something for them. All that to say, go ahead and do and set up your Wise account also before you come to any other part of the world, so that you can just have your one bank account that you connect. You can actually add money to your Wise account in USD and then convert it into the currency that you need to use in said country. Wise, like you get a little debit card that you can use that's connected to your account. Mine is on my phone. they've mailed it to me in the States, but in order for me to switch it over to have them send it to me here in the US, I just put it on my phone and it works fine. So I can go to the store, and if I need to pay or if I need to go to the ATM and get some euros out, um, if I absolutely need to, then I was using that before I opened up my Spanish bank account. But yeah, all that to say, get a Wise account. It does come in very handy, especially when you're first arriving before you actually go and open up your Spain bank account or whatever bank account in insert country. Okay. So I hope that this information was very helpful to you. If there's anything else, I'm trying to see if anybody had anything, if there's any questions that you were like, I really want to know this, put them in the comments either. And if you're watching the replay, please do put the comments there. You guys know I do answer, I do reply to comments. And unless you got something negative saying stuff, then I just delete that because I don't care. But yes, if there's something that kind of you think about later on while you're watching this and you want to know, please do put it in the comments and I'll answer you if I can. And please do remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you are interested in possibly doing the Camino de Santiago walk next year or pilgrimage next year, the link is in the description. I'm excited about this. I can't believe I'm actually considering that. Yes. So Wise it's a free account. It's free. You don't have to. There are some fees, like when you convert, they're going to charge some fees, but it really is nominal. Now, granted, right now the conversion rate from US to USD to euro right now, it's oh yeah, you're losing. But the fees are very nominal and it's super convenient. So again, if you are in the Black and Zaragoza group, or if you sign up for the subscribe, which both of them are also in the link, you will get a moving to Spain checklist that has the Wise how to open up that Wise account, and it's very easy. I find it very easy, and it's very easy to use. So yeah. But no, there's no charge, there's no monthly fees, nothing like that. You just, whenever you're putting money on there, you put it in USD and then convert it, and it'll tell you what the fee is. I think one time when I added USD money to my account, I think that it was like $1. And then when I converted, it was like, so I think it was like, I want to say it was like maybe €2 to convert. And so for me, that's a win. I don't have to do it often. I do it once a month and it's fine. Okay. Thank you guys. Stay tuned and please do, check out. I've been posting some clips because, again, I'm enjoying learning how to do some great edits and everything and stuff. So I've been taking some of my content and like just creating little clips so that you can see just some, pointed things that I talk about sometimes. Like I just posted recently some of the clips that I was when I interviewed my daughter about her experiences of living in Spain. So yeah, it was pretty insightful and really funny, especially like her driving in Spain and what it's like to go through the medical system and having a baby here in Spain. So, anyways, thank you guys. I really do appreciate you. And you know what? Take care.